That's an interesting topic, Andrew. It's something that's been debated for ages, really. But let me ask you, when was the last time you felt super motivated to get something done?
Oh yeah, like when I'm working on a project and feel like I need that extra push. Is motivation just a figment of our imagination then?
Not exactly. It's more about the context in which we perceive things as motivating or not. For example, if you're really into photography, snapping pictures might motivate you to get out early and shoot sunrise photos.
Got it. So, it's all about what interests us, right? And sometimes that interest isn't always there.
Exactly. It's like the difference between saying I have to go to work versus I can't wait to see what new clients we'll get today. The latter is more engaging because you're interested and looking forward to it.
Makes sense. So, if motivation isn't always there, how do people stay on track with their goals?
Well, setting clear, achievable goals can help a lot. Also, breaking things down into smaller tasks makes them feel less daunting. And don't forget about self-discipline. Sometimes we just need to get started and keep going.
True. I've found that getting started is half the battle. Once I start something, usually it's easier to keep going until it's done.
Exactly. And remember, progress is progress, no matter how small. Celebrate each step you take toward your goal.
That's a great point. It's easy to get discouraged when we don't see immediate results. But little wins add up over time.
Absolutely. And sometimes, just taking care of yourself, getting enough sleep, eating well, and moving around can boost your energy levels and help you tackle tasks more effectively.
That's true. Self-care can be a big motivator in itself. It's like recharging the battery before diving back into work.
Spot on. So maybe we should think of motivation as an ongoing process rather than something that magically appears when needed.
Yeah, I like that perspective. Thanks for this chat, Ava. You always have great insights.
Anytime, Andrew. Let's keep these conversations going and share our thoughts.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today we're tackling a really interesting and potentially controversial idea. That motivation, as we typically understand it, is actually a myth. Ava, you've been researching this quite a bit. Can you give us the elevator pitch?
Absolutely, Andrew. It's a shift in perspective, honestly. For years, we've been told we need motivation to do anything, to exercise, to work on a project, even to clean the kitchen. But the research, specifically around dopamine and habit formation, suggests that's actually a misleading narrative.
So, it's not about some internal fire? Like, I want to do this, so I'll do it? Because that sounds incredibly fragile.
Exactly. It's far more about building systems and routines that become automatic. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't motivate yourself to do it every morning, you just do it. It's ingrained.
Okay, that's surprisingly comforting. But what about times when you do feel that burning desire? Like, you really want to start that novel or finally learn a code? Surely, motivation plays some role then?
It does, but it's a reaction to the system you've built. Let's say you've committed to writing 30 minutes a day. If you consistently write, a little excitement, a dopamine rush will naturally come along. It's reinforcement, not the original driver.
So it's like a snowball effect? You start something, it gets easier, and that makes you more likely to continue, triggering a reward response?
Precisely. And it's not just about rewards. The biggest factor is consistency. The more you do something, the more your brain starts to associate it with the routine and the less conscious effort it requires.
That makes a huge difference. It's less about willpower and more about programming your brain. I've definitely struggled with that find your motivation cycle. It always felt like I was chasing something elusive.
It's a constant battle against our own human bias to seek immediate gratification. We're wired to crave instant rewards. Building habits bypasses that need. Think about tiny, almost ridiculously small steps.
Like, I've been saying I'm going to start meditating for 10 minutes. I'm full of motivation today, but I know that fades. If I focus on just sitting on my cushion for 5 minutes every day.
Exactly. 5 minutes is far less daunting than 10. It's about building the habit first, allowing the feeling of accomplishment and that dopamine response to naturally follow.
That's brilliant. So, instead of fighting against a perceived lack of motivation, We should be focusing on creating the conditions for automatic behavior.
Absolutely. And don't beat yourself up if you miss a day. Just get back to the system. The goal isn't to feel motivated. It's to just do.
It's a really powerful reframing. It almost feels kinder to yourself. Instead of judging your lack of motivation, you're acknowledging the system you've built.
It's about shifting from a willpower-based approach to a systems-based one. And ultimately, it's about designing your life to be more sustainable and enjoyable.
Well, Ava, this has been incredibly insightful. I think we've all got a lot to think about. Thanks so much for sharing your research with us. Where can people learn more about your work?
You can find me on social media handle, and my website is website address. I've got a free guide on building simple habits.
I've always been fascinated by the idea of motivation. We're told that if we just want it enough, we can achieve anything. Ava, that's a classic trope, but is it really that simple? I think motivation is overrated. Andrew, really? I feel like it's what gets us out of bed in the morning and drives us to succeed. Ava, but what about people who don't feel motivated? What about those who are just going through the motions? Andrew, that's a good point. Maybe motivation isn't the driving force behind our actions, but rather habit or necessity. Ava, exactly. And it's not like we can just will ourselves into motivation. It's a complex thing that's influenced by so many factors. Andrew, like what? Our upbringing, environment, genetics, it's all too much to overcome with just motivation alone. Ava, that's right. And let's not forget about the psychological concept of habituation. When we do something repeatedly, it becomes automatic without us even realizing it. Andrew, so, in a way, our actions become self-sustaining rather than relying on external factors like motivation. Ava, exactly. It's like our bodies have their own built-in autopilot system that keeps us going even when we don't feel like it. Andrew, and what about the idea that everyone has an inner spark that drives them to succeed? I think that's just a myth perpetuated by self-help books and motivational speakers. Ava, laughs? Yeah, I can see how that would be frustrating for people who feel like they're not naturally motivated. But at the end of the day, it's all about making progress, not achieving some kind of inner enlightenment. Andrew, absolutely. Progress is what matters, not some mythical state of motivation. And it's okay to acknowledge when we need a boost or a nudge in the right direction. That's just being human. Ava, laughs? Well said, Andrew. Maybe we can just redefine what success means and focus on making progress rather than achieving some kind of external validation. Andrew, that's a great point. We can create our own definition of success, one that doesn't rely on motivation or external factors. Ava, exactly. And once we let go of the myth of motivation, we can start to see ourselves and our actions in a whole new light. Andrew, I love it. It's liberating to think that our actions are driven by more than just motivation. Ava, smiling, it's time to give up on the idea of motivation as some kind of magic pill and focus on creating meaningful change instead. Andrew, agreed. Let's make progress, not perfection.